to your seat up the front, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Very pleased you've been re-elected, if I may say so.
Thank you, Mr. Byrne. Sykes of the Only Herald, Mr. Byrne.
Yes, sir.
Anything further to add to what you said yesterday?
Not only that I'm grateful to the Labour voters of Burnley for re-electing me, and that I'll do my damnedest to represent them in Parliament.
Have you been approached to be in the Cabinet?
No,
The government, then?
not yet.
Any comment on that? They oughtn't to leave you out,
Well,
don't
that's up
they?
to the Prime Minister.
When shall we hear, sir? Surely they'll have you in.
Well, you'd read it in the papers. What time do we get to London?
5:20, sir. Here's your compartment. You've got 4 minutes, sir. You should be alone. Is there anything else I can do for you, sir?
No, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Pompous clot.
He voted for you, you know.
Standard. Evening Standard. Standard. Lunchtime edition. Standard. Evening Standard. Get your Standard.
Well?
Lunchtime edition. Standard.
He's probably got something smaller for you. Listen to the agent talking. Will you thank the committee for me?
I'll do that. Hope to see you up here again soon, Johnny.
I'll be up.
Haven't seen much of you lately.
Mr. Byrne? Oh, Mr. Byrne, excuse me, but I saw you and I just had to come and congratulate you on your victory.
Thank you.
All the girls in our branch are saying that you'll be Foreign Secretary at least.
Well, that's not so. I'm not in the government.
Oh, dear, what a shame. Why ever not? Oh, dear, you must be disappointed.
Well, we must serve the cause as best we can, man.
Yes, but, oh, well, I must dash now. If you'll excuse me. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Porter! Oh, Porter, did you put my luggage in the van?
That's what I represent, or 9/10 of it. Goodbye, Frank. Thanks for all your work.
Bye, Johnny. Regards to the wife. Hope we'll be seeing her again before long, too.
Yes, I'll bring her up.
Hello, Johnny.
Hello, Mary.
Welcome home. Congratulations. You increased your majority, didn't you?
Yes, I have. Look, can I have a look at that? How's the timber business?
Nose to the grindstone, as usual.
That boss works you too hard.
Yeah, that's what I tell him. And all he does is dictate another letter.
Thank you.
Sorry. I was up till 4 this morning watching the results on television.
A waste of good sleep. You seen Alice recently?
Yes, I saw her this morning on the way out.
Let's drop in for a chat.
Yes, I'd like to.
Alice? Alice?
I'm in the bathroom.
What a mess.
Didn't expect you today.
I managed to get away. I couldn't stand all that palaver and handshaking.
And they gave you a big enough majority, didn't they? Isn't it worth a few handshakes to you? You're good at it.
You going out?
Yes. It's a meeting of the welfare subcommittee. It may go on. You'll find some tins and things in the kitchen, I think.
Well, that takes care of my welfare.
Well, you didn't say you were coming.
I'd probably turn in early.
Your bed's made up in your room.
You don't seem very glad to see me.
Sorry. I can't quite think why I should be.
And I can't quite remember when you were.
Oh, Johnny. Don't let's start on that.
The return of the conqueror, not a rose petal on the floor, just a sardine in the cupboard.
And I've run out of rose petals and forgot to order any more.
Alice, any messages, phone or anything?
I'm from Downing Street.
Yes.
No. What do you expect? Prime Minister's chosen all the right-wing ministers he could.
Well, all the names are not out yet. There may be something. Something small.
I've told you. Told you again, you should take a stand against them. You could be leading the left now if you hadn't lick-spittled around hoping for a job.
I'm not a lick-spittle. I'm what you'd call a fascist hyena.
I can't stop now, Johnny, but I want to talk to you sometime.
No, real words. We've been using sign language for as long as I can remember.
Words don't mean much to you anymore, do they?
I live by them.
Well, truth doesn't, then. I shan't disturb you coming in.
Sure you would.
Mr. Byrne. Yes. I'm Gregson, BBC. We're getting some material for tonight's edition of Day to Day. I think you've been on it before.
Yes, sir.
May we have a word from you? Mr. Byrne, you've increased your majority at Ernley, I think.
Yes, I managed to.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm very grateful to all of the people who worked for the cause and made it possible.
Mr. Byrne, I think it was rather generally expected that the Prime Minister would include you in his government. Would you care to comment on that?
Well, the Prime Minister's chosen the team that he felt he needed for the program, and it's up to the rest of us to support that team. And personal feelings are unimportant.
Thank you, Mr. Byrne, and welcome back to Westminster.
So you're in again. Nice to see you back. It was a tight squeeze. We had a couple of recons. I managed pretty comfortably. I think I had a good agent.
Oh, you made it.
Hello, Johnny.
See you back safely, Johnny. Increased your majority, didn't you, lad?
Oh, just about. What's it feel like to be on the opposition this time?
Makes a change.
Hello.
Hello. That's Byrne. You all thought he'd get a job.
Good afternoon, Mr. Byrne.
Afternoon. Hello, Johnny. Welcome back. Hello, Fred. You managed to squeeze in again, huh? And squeeze is the operative word.
Better than greased.
Going to the meeting? I suppose so.
Well, I'll see you there.
Excuse me, I'm Henderson.
Oh, the new member for,
Banstow.
Banstow.
Could you tell me where the party meeting is?
Yes, I'll take you along. There's plenty of time. Let's have a cup of coffee on the terrace.
Oh, thanks very much.
The first thing in this place is to locate the lavatories. They're all marked members only, but then so is the cafeteria and the library and the bar. Practically everything.
That must make for awkwardness.
It makes for awkwardness until you've got the geography.
Mr. Byrne, sir?
Hmm?
Say I'm not here. You can't find me.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that from one of your constituents?
Yes. You shocked? You know, when I was first elected, I used to interview a couple dozen people a week about their housing problems and their pensions and other things. I used to visit my constituency once a week, but as you can't find houses where they don't exist, or pensions for that matter, there's no point in long talks here or evenings in a dreary office by the bus terminus. So I learned to make excuses. So will you.
Well, that depends on what he thinks the job is, doesn't it?
I was telling our comrade to pinpoint the lavatories.
Oh?
So let us enjoy our moment of jubilation, but let it not be too prolonged. I have formed a government, but my problem was the embarrassment of talent at my disposal, and undoubtedly some of you will have been disappointed. I can only say this. We're all on trial again. I am. So are the ministers and undersecretaries. Even the whips are on trial.
Oh, find them guilty for a start.
And you too are on trial as custodians of the nation's trust in our great party. Let us, each one of us, dedicate ourselves to seeing that we do not fail that trust. Thank you.
Johnny, just a moment. A little on the over-enthusiastic side, don't you think?
A little.
Johnny, several of us are a bit worried about trends in the party.
Really?
Yes. We've called a small meeting at 3 o'clock tomorrow in one of the committee rooms. Would you care to join us?
Why?
Well, I thought perhaps you might have something to contribute. Perhaps you're not altogether happy about policy. Anyway, your ideas would be valuable.
No, I'm sorry, Tim. I don't think so.
But you aren't altogether happy about the way things are going, are you, Johnny?
Perhaps not. Hello. Alice, have you been tidying up?
Alice. Hello, Mary. Do you recognize this place?
I'm afraid I did it.
You did. Why should you descend from above and clean out the stables?
Johnny, I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid it's Alice. She's gone.
Gone where?
I don't know. I came home at lunchtime. I only saw her for a minute. She had a suitcase. She told me to tell you she was leaving.
I see. Deserted the sinking ship because I didn't get a job in the government, eh?
I don't know.
Thank you for all this, Mary. I'd offer you a drink, honey. I haven't got one. I don't use it much.
It's all right. I don't feel like one, thank you. Well, what are you going to do now?
Do? I'm going to have something to eat. Will you come out to dinner with me?
Well, I can't. I've got a date. I could try and break it.
No, it's all right. I'll fix something for myself. Thanks, Mary.
Don't be lonely, will you?
I've got a lot to do. Whiskey, please.
It's so damn difficult to find anywhere we can be alone. Unless, of course, the husband's away, and then I have to creep in the house like a criminal.
Mr. Byrne, you increased your majority at Ernley, I think.
Yes, I managed to.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm very grateful to the workers for our cause who made it possible.
Mr. Byrne, I think it was rather generally expected that the Prime Minister would include you in his government. Would you care to comment on that?
Well, the Prime Minister has chosen the team he thinks best to carry out our program, and it's up to the rest of us to support that team in every way we can. Personal ambitions are unimportant.
Thank you, Mr. Byrne, and welcome back to Westminster.
I'm sorry.
Gin and Titano, please.
got your note.
Come along up.
No, you come in here. I've fixed it all up. I lit a fire. It's chilly.
Looks nice. And flowers.
I got them on a barrow, fresh cut.
I thought you didn't touch it.
Sometimes.
You're going to get me tight. This is my third.
Never mind. Did you have a nice dinner?
Oh, all right. Just one of the boys in the office, you know. What is it?
This stuff. We signed the pledge together, Alice and I, when we were two Sunday school kids, 8 and 9, in a piddling little Yorkshire town you've never heard of. We were childhood sweethearts. She lived next door. Both of our parents were mad about politics. Good old-fashioned working-class labor. I suppose that's what started me. I wonder if Alice has broken the pledge. I don't even know. It's funny, isn't it?
Don't make it worse for yourself, Johnny.
Worse? But you don't understand, Mary. I'm glad she's gone. I'm tickled pink. We never had anything. Never. It was Moses in the bulrushes on Sunday and politics during the week. We were 20. We never courted properly. She never even let me hold her hand. After we're married, Johnny. We were married. There was a whole column in the local press. Sunday school teachers wed. Then there was the war. 4 years when we hardly even met, so she went her way and I went mine. But we went on living together. We were still married, if you can call it that. Like sharing a bed with a Fritch.
Relax, Johnny. I'll leave you.
I'd better go. It may be...
Alice?
No, Downing Street. There may be a change. Yes?
Johnny, Tim Maxwell here.
Oh, hello, Tim.
You will come tomorrow, won't you?
Tim, it's late.
Don't hang up. I wanted to make sure. I didn't know whether I'd see you in the house. It's important for you.
Why?
It might lead to things. In one of the committee rooms at 3.
I don't know.
I shall count on you.
I said I don't know. Goodbye. Mary, you're not going.
Yes, it's getting late. You said so yourself. No, no.
Well, because I answered the phone, it might have been important.
Nothing wrong in ambition, Johnny.
Come on.
Look, save your kisses for the Prime Minister, Mr. Byrne.
Mary, come back. You bitch.
I'm sorry. I hope I didn't wake you.
No, no.
I think I left my gloves here last night.
Yes, you did. Come in. Mary, I'm sorry I behaved so badly last night. I had too much to drink.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. I behaved pretty badly myself, really. Well, I hope the whiskey didn't stain the rug.
I can't see anything. Here.
Thank you.
Would you like a cup of coffee?
No, thank you, I've had it. I could make you some, though.
No, it's all right. I'll have some later.
I'd better be getting off to the office. Oh, I'm going to a party tomorrow night. If you're not doing anything, you may care to come along. It may be good for a few laughs, anyway.
I'd like to.
I hope you're going to enjoy this.
Why not? I don't go to many.
Oh, that's just it. Well, Sheila's all right, but our parties are apt to be a little mixed.
Let's mix it a little more.
Darling!
Sheila, I brought Johnny.
Mary's brought Johnny, and Johnny's brought gin. Darling, darling Johnny. Well, come in. Well, nobody knows anybody, so just grab who you want to talk to and have a drink. That bloody record. I think it was the only one I got or something.
Hello, great to see you here. Oh, have you met?
Oh, of course he's queer. He's not just trying to get on, he's queer.
Yeah, but he's got swarms of children.
How naive can you get? Of course he's got swarms of children. What's that got to do with it? He's as queer as a...
Do you mind?
Vanish, will you please? Crucifying, isn't it?
Oh, it's interesting.
Doesn't interest me.
Well, they tell me that you have to live with these things.
I lived with it for 6 months. I painted the swine.
I don't know very much about art or painting.
Oh, don't apologize. The thing's a swine. What do you know about?
Well, actually, I'm a member of Parliament.
How crucifying. Hey, listen, everybody. Everybody. We have a member of Parliament in our midst. Get me some more of that disinfectant, will you, MP?
Yes. Sorry. That's all right. Can I fill it up for you?
Thank you.
I'm John Byrne.
Yes, I know. I'm Pauline West.
How did you know?
Well, you lectured to me once at the London School of Economics.
Oh, well, you still there?
No, I'm a model now, photographic, you know.
Then I should know you.
Oh, I don't see why. There are hundreds of us. At my age, we all look alike.
How young are you?
I'm 20. Oh, isn't it hot? Why don't you take your coat off? Go on, you're not lecturing now.
Look at this. Yeah. He's a bad person.
Who are you? I didn't invite you. I didn't invite anyone without a head. Oh,
Yes, I know, but I'm working tomorrow, and if I don't get some sleep, I'll be a wreck.
Well, you must come to the House of Commons. I'll show you around. Anytime. You fill in a green card, hand it in, and I'll be there.
I'd like to.
I'm going to kiss every man in the room. As a matter of fact, I'm going to kiss you.
Well, you must go. I'll see you home.
Oh, that's awfully sweet of you, but I'm all right, thank you.
Come on, MP. I'm going to kiss you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, out!
Meet the champ. Give me a man of age and experience every time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bloody tune. I swear I'll break it.
Johnny? You going?
I think so. Will you be all right?
Yes, thanks. I always stay right down till the bitter end.
Frankly, I'm not tough enough. Good night. Anything for me?
No, sir. Were you expecting a visitor, Mr. Byrne?
I may be. Let me know at once. I'm Miss West.
Certainly, sir. Mr. Byrne? There is a card for you after all. Sorry, sir.
Tell her I'm not in the house. You can't find me.
Certainly, sir.
Ah, Johnny, you've come along after all.
Just came in to see what you want. Hello, Charlie.
Did you hear Whittaker died last night, heart attack?
Yes.
You know who the selection conference will put up for the seat? Another bloody intellectual. Another toffee-nosed barrister. And he'll get in.
Who else is coming?
Just Roger Renfrew. I thought he'd be interested.
All the intellectuals, eh?
We should get that chip off your shoulder, Charlie. My family were as working class as yours.
Really, Captain Byrne?
It's 20 years since you've done an honest day's work at the bench.
Here is Roger.
Hello, Roger.
Well, if that's the lot, let's get on with it. I haven't got all day.
Yes. Roger, will you start?
Oh. Well, I think this is the point. The government has got its mandate, but it's a very loose one. It commits the government to nothing. We, that is Tim, myself, and perhaps you, are afraid that therefore nothing much is going to be done without some prodding.
By us?
At first, we could expand the group, but we must be on the alert. Really keep the cabinet on its toes.
Yeah, but how?
A question here, a push there.
What we want is a push that will send Mr. Prime Minister Stevens and his gang of lawyers and university lecturers right over on their backsides. Then we might get somewhere.
Yeah, but surely we must give them a chance.
I agree. What I'm suggesting is that we act as a sort of conscience of the party, as it were.
Conscience? There isn't the makings of one in this room. You are here, minus your father's Yorkshire accent, because you expected a job and you didn't get one. You are here because you can't help interfering and fiddling about with your notes and general bloody nosiness. You've licked boots for the past 4 years, and it's got you nowhere. And you, I've got a fairly good idea what you're up to, and it smells to me.
I'm afraid I can't stay here and be insulted. I've got better things to do. Either Charlie Young goes or I do.
Within 3 minutes, he'll be at the Prime Minister's door. 2 if he runs. 4, and the Prime Minister's private secretary will know all about this little meeting.
And why not?
We must bide our time.
I agree. We must wait for a really big issue.
In the meanwhile, we should meet from time to time to discuss things. I mean, we want to do a useful job, but nothing disruptive.
Exactly.
Perhaps we should have a chairman. Though, of course, it's quite informal.
You, I suppose.
I thought Johnnie. He's got the qualifications.
Good idea. Johnnie?
Well, if you want me for the odd meeting, I don't see any harm in it. Yes, all right.
Well, my lad, seen this?
That's Renfrew's work. Trying to stir it up. Look at that. Labour rebels. We're nothing of the sort.
Well, you tell me. What are you?
Well, some of us had a meeting this afternoon. We're trying to get together a discussion group to keep an eye on policy.
Discussion group? What, with Renfrew there? I'm not fooled, and neither are you. You know Renfrew's game. Unless you're simpler than you look. You start as a discussion group. The opposition press smell a split in the party and give you a build-up. Next, you become the darling of the cranks, the Revolution by Wednesday Brigade. Do you know the harm you can do to the government? Don't tell me you haven't thought it all out.
Look, we're not that important.
Not now, you're not. But by the time the newspapers get finished with you, you'll think you are, then damn me you will be, and then the trouble will start. Doesn't loyalty mean anything to you?
I'm not a rebel. The Labour Party's not perfect. Things change.
Johnnie, I knew your father when we were in prison together in 1916 as conscientious objectors. I knew your mother when she was a lass in Bradley, delivering handbills for the suffragettes. They had more bloody guts in their toes than you've got in your belly.
Hello, Johnnie.
Hello.
I was just putting the milk bottles out and I heard you come in. Do you feel like coming out for a nightcap? I've got some whiskey.
No, thanks, not tonight. I'm whacked. Did you get home all right last night?
Yes, thanks. Did you?
Yes.
She's pretty.
Who? Oh, her. Do you happen to know anything about her?
Don't you?
Well, it's just that I promised to show her at the House of Commons, and I'd like to know where to get in touch with her. Oh, come on. She's young enough to be my daughter. It's just that she's interested in Parliament.
Yes, I see. You sure you won't come up?
No, thanks. Thank you for last night. Good night.
Yeah.
More dried fish is being sold across the counties than ever before in the history of dried fish. Last year, I have the figures here, 2,275 crans of haddock were delivered from
It's
the
not
ports
exactly
of
world-shattering
Phipps
news, is it?
to the retail.
Why, listen to it then.
Now, this vast business is of vital importance to not only the north of England, but to the whole of the British Isles. It employs many hundreds of thousands of our population. Its product is on every table in the land, in one form or another. But the government, the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, do not seem to have appreciated this fact. I should like to read the House some facts and figures.
Mr. Byrne?
Hello, I hope you haven't been waiting long.
No. Terry and I have just been guessing who are the members and who are the visitors. This is Terry Langham.
How do you do?
How do you do, sir?
Was this a bad time to come? I mean, are we interrupting?
Not at all. Let's go on the terrace and have a look at the view.
It's called the best club in Europe. Frightfully stuffy and absolutely nothing to do.
Except put on a beaming smile to visitors and say, I hope you haven't been waiting long.
Part of the act.
Oh, but it's not quite true, is it, sir? I mean, you do work very hard, really.
Terry's keen on politics.
Really?
I wish I knew as much about it as you do, sir.
Well, you'll have to wait till you get to my ripe old age. Are you keen on politics?
Not awfully, I'm afraid.
politics are all right. It's the politicians you want to run a mile from.
Not always.
Mostly always.
Oh, she'll be more interested when she's old enough to vote.
Don't be pompous, Terry.
Well, I'll show you around the rest of it, then I'll get you a seat in the strangers' gallery. I'm afraid I can't meet you afterwards. I'm busy.
Hello?
Is Miss West there?
Oh, no, I'm afraid Miss West is out working.
Could you tell me where she is?
Oh, just a moment. Flag Studios, Ronald Street. You'll get her there.
Oh, for Pete's sake, keep still, West. How can I light it when you're waving it about like maracas?
Sorry.
You're too young for hangovers, anyway.
I haven't.
Well, concentrate. It's a man, I suppose? Always is when girls like you get the shakes. Old and rich or young and beat?
Neither.
Well, what's so special about him, then?
He's a member of Parliament.
Member of Parliament? What on earth are you doing with a member of Parliament, West? Oh, stand still.
I don't know, Flag. Nothing much yet.
Well, leave him alone. I photographed one once, crazy about himself, wanted cut rates for the publicity he thought it would bring me. Oh, far too young for politics anyway, West.
He's somehow alive.
An MP? Trick of the light, my dear. Okay, we'll take this one. Woo that thing as if it was the whole of the front bench. It might help you, West. Now, stand still. Lousy. It'll do. Hold the thing high up. And then, that's it. Yes, that's the sort of thing. Where'd you meet him?
At a party. He offered to fill my glass.
I bet it wasn't his party.
No. Then I asked him to take his coat off.
Did he return the compliment?
No. I didn't say much either.
He's flying under false colors, my dear. Okay, West. And if our combined efforts this morning sell one single ruddy saucepan, I'll give you a party.
Fine. Coat's on all round, though.
Well, they're just bumps to me, West. I've seen too many of them in this game. Off you go. You in love?
I don't know. I might be going to be.
Go slow. You're a sensitive plant.
Goodbye.
Hello. Hello. I haven't been down this way for years, and I meet you. What a coincidence.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Do you work around here?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. That's even more of a coincidence. Got time for a drink?
Yes?
Come on.
Wasn't a coincidence, you know. I rang your place to see where you were working, and then I came on the off chance of meeting you.
Well, I rang home and they said that you'd called. Well, I had a feeling you'd be waiting, so I got away as soon as I could.
What were you doing?
Selling saucepans.
Oh, it's a charming occupation. What's your next job?
Nothing. No job, no one to see.
I don't think I'll go to the house today. I wanted to see you very much.
I wanted to see you.
Cheers.
Wishing you were there?
No, they can get along without me. Even if they couldn't. No.
I've been looking you up.
What did you find?
Lots of things. 42. Born in Bradley, Yorkshire. Captain in the army in the war. What did you do?
Well, I lost my Yorkshire accent, for one thing. I worked hard to kill it.
When I was commissioned, I didn't say anything very much, but I listened. Then for 6 months in the mess, all I said was, pass the marmalade, please.
Well, did it matter that much?
It did to me. Well, I read a lot in my spare time before I went to France, round about D-Day. I taught myself a lot.
What sort of things?
Oh, how people got on, biographies, what made people tick, and quotations, very useful for politicians. Then I taught myself how to eat, what knife and fork to use, how to unlearn the careful. Don't make a noise while you're eating. Eat with your, don't eat with your mouth full, that my mother did to me.
But why on earth?
Well, the real lady and gentlemen swill their soup from half an inch and eat their toast with their mouths half open. They have the confidence, haven't you noticed?
No, I don't think I have. People seem to think you'd be in the government.
Well, I'm not.
Why?
Well, I suppose I'm not as good as I thought I was. Some people say I'm ambitious for the wrong reasons. They're probably right.
Disappointed?
I've thought of nothing else since I left the army and went into politics.
I can understand living for a cause, but I can't understand living for an ambition. What went wrong, Johnny? You must have believed in something at some time.
I suppose I did. What about you? You got any ambitions?
Oh, the usual sort. Home, children, that sort of thing.
That's Greenwich around the next bend.
Do you know it?
I had an egg thrown at me there once. Ruined my best suit. What else did the book say about me?
That you're married?
Well, that's over. The Germans bombed Greenwich. Remember when they used to come down the river night after night to get at the docks?
I was a bit young.
Faux pas. This conversation's gone on a long time.
Yes, it has.
I don't mean the one with words, I mean the silent one. Has it gone on too long?
No. It hasn't. Johnny, I want to turn and look at you, and I can't. I can't turn my head.
Just hold my hand.
Whatever happens afterwards, there'll be nothing quite like this. When I met you at that party, I couldn't think of anything to say except, do you enjoy being in Parliament? So I didn't say anything.
You didn't have to say anything.
Oh, I did so want to meet you again. Confession over. Shall we go?
Just a minute.
Thank you for today, Johnny.
Will you have lunch with me tomorrow?
Tomorrow? Let me see, I've got a job in the morning, toothpaste. It won't take long. Yes, I'd love to.
I'll ring you.
Good night, Johnny.
Good night.
Byrne. Morning.
Johnny, the very man. We must talk.
What about?
Something most interesting's just happened.
Talk away, then.
Not here. This may be the big issue we've been waiting for. It's come earlier than we expected. Look, the government's proposing to send troops in to destroy a democratically elected assembly. They have their reasons, of course, as I've said, but the whole thing's wide open to criticism. Against socialist principles and so on. The party wouldn't like it if it knew.
Mm. Well?
Well, how do we exploit it?
Private notice question, I should think.
Yes, so would I. Ask for a statement on recent developments in the oil kingdom of Mazarin and so on. In his answer, the Prime Minister's bound to mention the proposed troop movements. That will give you a chance for a stronger supplementary question.
Me?
Yes, of course. You're the man. I'll get some of our fellows to follow up with more. The opposition's bound to jump in to exploit the situation. Our backbenchers will get worried.
And then things will get hot. Hmm?
Exactly. Then you move the adjournment so that the whole matter can be debated at 7 o'clock as a matter of urgency. You'll have the platform for a major speech. Early enough to catch the morning papers. You'll be news.
All right, I'll put down a question.
I've got a draft here.
You think of everything, don't you? Your teeth nice and clean?
Whiter than the whitest white.
Well, this will dull them down.
I've got to be quick, Johnny. I've got a job at 3. What have you been doing?
I went to the house. Something pretty important came up.
What?
I'll tell you later. I nearly wrote you a letter last night.
To say what?
That yesterday was probably the happiest day of my life. Whatever there is between us, it's got to be your decision. If it's coffee or dinner from time to time, I'm happy. And if it's something more, I'm even happier. I love you. But I don't want to force anything.
If anything's going to grow, just let it grow. Let's not keep on taking up the roots to see how the plant's doing.
Hello, Johnny.
Hello, Bob. Good God, that's Bob Ferguson. I thought he was dead. He was with Chamberlain at Munich before the war, you remember?
Should we go and eat? I mustn't be late.
Handsome couple.
Hats off, strangers.
Can the Prime Minister make a statement to the House on the subject of his forthcoming visit to Washington?
I'm going to Washington next month at the invitation of the President for informal talks which will, I trust, range over a wide field. As the House will remember, my predecessor in my office visited Washington early this year. Things are now different. The President is eager to be informed of the government's broad policies and intentions. And for my part, I shall be very happy to renew his acquaintance and with our advisors have talks on different subjects which will, I am sure, be beneficial to both our countries. I hope the House will not press me at this stage for an agenda. It does not exist. But on my return, I will give honorable members as full a report as is consistent with discretion.
Johnny, good of you to come. PM wanted me to have a word about this private notice question. I wonder whether we could set your mind at rest if you're really worried about Mazarin.
Well, he says that I want a statement. If there's something to be said, it should be said. If there's nothing to say, it doesn't matter much.
Well, there's something to say next week when the situation's clarified. Look here, Johnny, I'll be frank with you. It might be embarrassing to make a statement tomorrow.
Well, I think the Prime Minister should keep the House informed as he goes along.
You know what you're doing. You're trying to create the maximum trouble for the party.
I'm trying to see that the party isn't bulldozed into something which will betray its principles.
Like to talk it over with the PM?
I'd like to.
To see you now.
I haven't congratulated you on your re-election.
Thank you.
Take the Foreign Secretary's seat. Now, this question. I can, of course, arrange to avoid it.
You can, but that would leave the facts as they are. And on the facts, I can issue a press statement.
What facts have you?
That you propose to send 2 battalions of airborne troops to help the Sheikh of Mazram destroy the Democratic Assembly.
And where did you hear this?
Do you deny that?
No. Then I'd interpret the move in a different way. The Nationalist Party, which controls the Democratic Assembly, is financed from behind the Iron Curtain. There's a feeling that they were about to oust the Sheikh and establish a political link with the communists.
A feeling, is that all?
Saudi Arabia would then move in to prevent the link. And anything could happen. We prefer not to leave any loose ends lying about.
I think the party will accept my interpretation rather than yours.
Perhaps so. Perhaps not. So, you press on with the question.
I'm sorry, but I must.
Where did you get your information? Nice to have seen you. Thank you for coming. How's your wife?
Very well.
Good.
So you're going on with it?
Yes.
May I say something I wanted to say to you ever since you came to the house? You're the most unmitigated, grasping, and self-important bastard I've ever met in a lifetime's politics. Good day.
Pauline, I'm glad I got you there. Darling, I'm sorry I can't see you tonight. I've got a terribly important speech I've got to work on.
What a shame. Well, never mind. You must do it, of course. What's it about?
I'm afraid I can't tell you at the moment.
Are you going to be free tomorrow? Yes. Well, look, come round to my place at about 10:30 and I'll give you a cup of coffee.
All right, fine.
Goodbye. Sorry.
We've got work to do, West. Let Parliament wait. Over here. What's that, Parliament?
Yes?
How old is Parliament?
42.
42? What on earth do you talk about? Or haven't you time? 42, yes, you have time.
We talk.
About the good old days.
About plenty.
Well, I'm 40, and I can't talk to 20-year-olds without treating them as kids.
Come on, Flag, let's get this one.
Keep still.
Before the election, the Prime Minister, the present one, when he was leader of the opposition, made a speech in a debate on colonial policy. Have you got it?
Have you the date, sir?
Beginning of February, I think.
I remember, sir. I'll get it for you.
Well, well. Your little discussion group has found an issue at last. Mazran, eh? Don't do it, Johnny.
I know what I'm doing, and it's for the best possible reasons.
Johnny, this government is the people's government, and I don't want to see you cause it embarrassment.
And I want to keep it a people's government.
Look, we don't talk about it much here in this Westminster hothouse. But most of us understand that out there in the streets, there are people who want something. They don't always know what they want. They've not much idea how to get it. Call it a better life, if you like. But they expect us to get it for them. That's what we're here for. And we try to do it by pulling together and backing up the boys at the top. But not you. Oh, no. You're a political technician. You came here for a career. You learnt the words, but not the music. You've thought of naught else but Johnnie Byrne since you came. Not what they want, not what's right. But how will this work out best for Johnnie Byrne?
I'm not doing this for Johnnie Byrne. It's a matter of principle.
Johnny, learn a bit of humility. Learn to love other folk a bit.
I think this is it, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Listen to this. Stephen speaking. An elected government in a colonial or trust territory may not always agree with us. Its duty is to serve its own purposes, not ours. Our duty is to be patient, remembering that if we destroy the seeds of democracy, then in time we destroy ourselves.
He won't like that being quoted against him now. You're going to use it in your speech?
You bet I am.
I've talked to some of our fellows, and they're prepared to follow up. We can make a big show. It all depends on your putting the first question.
What do you think I'm going to do?
You'll be there at 3:30. The whole thing will collapse if you're not.
I know parliamentary procedure. I didn't arrive last week.
Yes, of course you do. I just wanted to make sure.
Hello.
Here, let me take this. You can pick it up later.
Where are we going?
Well, let's go on the river again.
I have to be in the house this afternoon.
Oh, what time?
About 2:30.
Well, let's go on the water anyway. All by ourselves. Johnny? You're not with me, Johnny.
I was thinking.
You're sweating.
Why is it that men always sweat and women only perspire?
Go on. Take your coat off.
This is where we came in, isn't it?
Do you enjoy being in Parliament, Mr. Byrne? Go on, take your shirt off. Try a little sun. Frightened of the opposition?
Exhibitionist. I'll take my tie off and that's all.
Oh, excuse me.
What are you doing, talking to a couple of the opposition, boss?
No, don't do it. We got your follow-up questions ready.
Don't worry.
See you, Johnny.
Captain Byrne is probably still asleep.
I love you, Pauline. I love you very much.
Johnny, you remember at lunch when you said you'd never force anything, that you'd leave it to me? Well, there's bound to come a time when I couldn't go any further. When you had to make the next move. I think it's now, Johnny.
Come on, let's go.
I love you.
Take your coat off, Johnny.
Don't worry. He'll be here.
Look, we've brought out the whole front bench. Secretary any further information to give the House concerning the incidents alleged to have occurred in Boughton Prison on the night of May the 20th.
The honourable member for Falmouth East was misinformed about the size and scale of the incident. In fact, only one prisoner serving a short sentence was involved.
Do you know what time it is?
It's 3:45.
Your speech. You should have been there.
My great speech.
Was it important?
I thought it was, but it wasn't. You're much more important.
What was it about?
Question to the Prime Minister, you wouldn't understand.
Why wouldn't I?
You're too young.
I'm not too young to make love to.
Or to love. They'll never believe me. They'll say that Andrews frightened me off. But I wasn't afraid. I was in bed with you. We weren't either of us afraid. You know, darling, I've got a new ambition. A real one.
You, Johnny? What?
I want to marry you.
Hello, Fred.
Nothing for you today, Mr. Byrne?
That's good. Who got at you? Nobody got at me.
Then why weren't you here yesterday?
Save your speeches for the local meetings, Charlie.
Traitor. Damn traitor.
Morning.
Johnny. I didn't mean to speak to you.
Don't.
I think you behave very badly. You've let us down and you betrayed the people of Mazaran.
What happened, Johnny?
I changed my mind.
Why?
That's my business. Or should we say, I was impressed by some of the points the Prime Minister put to me.
Firstly, I don't believe you. Secondly, it's very dangerous to change your mind on an issue like this. You'll regret it. I promise you that.
Could I speak to Miss West, please?
Oh, I'm afraid she isn't here.
Oh, it's John Byrne. She told me to call at 11:15.
Oh, Mr. Byrne, yes, I've got a message for you. Miss West said, could you meet her at Euston Station at 7 o'clock, platform 14?
Is she going away?
I'm afraid I couldn't say.
Well, could you tell me where she is now?
I'm afraid I couldn't say.
Thank you.
Oh, I want to put through a call to Ernley, please. Ernley in Yorkshire. Mr. Edward Collins. I don't know the number, but you'll get him through the local Labour Party office.
You stay there.
Oh, well, you're early. Your booking's at 12:30. Aren't you Farquharson's whiskey?
No.
Oh, pity. Good type for it. Starting to grey, distinguished, and... Oh, well.
My name is Byrne. Is Miss West here?
West? No, I've got a half-witted blonde and a cask of deodorant in there, that's all. Byrne, MP?
Yes.
Don't they have telephones at the house?
As a matter of fact, I'd forgotten your name.
That's not like a politician. She's not here.
Well, is she going away on a job?
How should I know? They're off on everything from jobs to joyrides.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And remember, if they throw you out, you're a good type for middle-aged men of the world.
No, not yet. I must find a seat.
Where are you going?
Here, anyway, that'll do.
Where are you going?
Away?
On a job?
No, home.
To Glasgow?
No.
I'll put the case in the rack, miss. Thank you.
What's the matter? Is somebody ill?
No.
Then you're coming back.
Never. No, I'm never coming back.
Come on, let's sit down. Now, what is it?
I want you to understand it. It's not because of anything you've done. It's not because of yesterday. I don't regret yesterday, and I never shall, but I must get away from you before I get used to you.
Why?
Johnny, look away. Don't look at me. You look away this time. It's not age, not physically. But you once asked me if I had an ambition, and I said yes. A home and children. But before you have all that, you've got to have a husband. I have thought about it, Johnny.
Well, it seems we've both been thinking. I was going to divorce Alice, marry you, and make my flat into a home. I admit I haven't thought about children, but there could be some.
Yes, but you didn't think about them. They've got to be the thing that you want most. You've got to want to have a life built round them. Don't hate me, Johnny, because...
Because what?
Because I think I really love you.
You think that, and then you want to go away.
There is another thing. It is age, I suppose. You've done things I couldn't have. You remember things I can't. Well, it's a barrier. We couldn't be complete. I couldn't make it complete. Oh, it's no use.
You say you're running away home. You'll be back.
No. I'm running away home. I love you. I shall be miserable for a while, but I must get away from you.
Take your seats, please.
I'm not going to say goodbye. You'll be back.
Goodbye, Johnny.
Pauline.
Sorry to butt in, Johnny, but your phone's been ringing all evening. I came down to took a message.
Who was it?
Better have your key back. Mr. Drake from Ernley. He says he wants you to be at the monthly meeting tomorrow. There's been a bit of trouble. He wants you to be there.
What trouble?
Don't know. He didn't say. It sounded as though they were gunning for you.
I see. Well, thanks.
Johnny. You all right?
I'm fine.
How's Pauline?
She's all right. Mary, I may have to go to Ernley tomorrow and stay the night. Pauline will probably be here tomorrow. If you see her, be sweet and make her feel at home. Here's the key. Tell her to stay and I'll phone her in the evening. And don't let her go.
Yes, all right.
Thanks, pal.
met you, but I didn't know about the train. What's all this about?
I don't know exactly. Some of the boys and girls called a special meeting. I think you won't like this, Johnny. They want to move a vote of no confidence.
Why? They've only just elected me.
It's Ted Collins. I think he's got old or something.
Collins. He's the one who's a bit of a red.
Aye.
I can handle him.
I hope so.
And furthermore, comrades, because of what he did, our local lads may be dying in the sands of Mazran.
Might I ask Mr. Collins where he got this information?
I have my sources. Now, as I was saying, our member had the chance to protect democracy, to safeguard the workers of Mazran, to stop troops being sent in to suppress a democratically elected assembly. And what did he do? He ratted. He ran along to the Prime Minister and crawled. Now, I say this. We in Ernley have no confidence in a member who is not prepared to support the principles of the Labour Party.
And in seconding this motion, I'd like to say that this is not the first time our member has let us down. How often do we see him here? He should be here regularly to listen to our views instead of airing his own on television. Well...
Right.
Order!
I've been to see our member in London twice about Mrs. Rogers and her trouble with her landlord. And he wasn't there neither time. Or so they said. And Mrs. Rogers and her daughter-in-law both wrote, but they didn't get no answer. Oh, and Mrs. Rogers' daughter-in-law sent a stamp.
Well, we public figures have a lot to put up with. But, and blunt speaking is my motto, I say Johnnie Byrne has got a bit too big for his boots.
I'm sure I can't remember when she last came down. And we do like to feel that our member's wife isn't too stuck up to come and see us. We'd make her very welcome in the women's section.
Comrades and fellow members of the Ernley Labour Party Local Committee,
I'm quite aware of your concern about Mazran, and as far as the questions that you've asked me are concerned, the very earnest questions that you've asked me...
By seeing the Prime Minister, I was seeking, both loyally and privately, to use my influence rather than embarrass the government in the House of Commons and in front of the whole country. I'm happy to say that the Prime Minister took me completely into his confidence and gave me firm assurances. I know I can speak in confidence to you. Assurances which were right, as time will prove. I'm afraid I can't divulge them to this meeting because I gave my word, but I can tell you this, that all will be well, and I make no apology for what I've done. Now, as to the charge that I have neglected the constituency, I'd like to tell you this. In the past year, I have addressed 92 public meetings up and down the country as my contribution towards unseating the Tories. I have also lectured to 14 weekend schools as part of the Labour Party educational drive. And my wife has done everything she can towards the defeat of the Conservatives. I cannot imagine that my course of action has been wrong. But as that defeat is so convincingly achieved, of course I will resume my visits here and do all in my power for the people of this constituency who did me the honor of electing me. And I promise not to show my ugly mug on TV unless asked to do so by the National Executive. Therefore, you needn't worry about the children having nightmares. Well, fellow members, I have given you an explanation of the past and an assurance for the future. And all that's left to say is that I will see you next Friday when I come here to do all I can for my fellow Labour members of this great town.
Well, in view of what our member has said, perhaps Comrade Collins would like to withdraw his motion.
No, I wouldn't, Mr. Chairman.
Well, in that case, we shall have to vote on it. Will those in favour of a vote of no confidence in our Member of Parliament please raise their hands? Those against? Motion carried. Friends, I'd like to make an appeal to you. The news of this vote is bound to get out, and it can't do the party any good so soon after the election. Now, let's say to our Johnny here that he's on probation, as it were. And we'll see how things work out in the future. Are you all agreed?
No. That's right. Give him another chance. That's right.
Yes, I think that's in order.
All right.
Comrades and fellow members of the Burnley Labour Party, I can hardly find words to thank you for your understanding and your generosity and your generosity.
Yes, hello.
Mary, it's Johnny.
Hello?
I'm sorry to bother you at this time,
That's all right.
but have you heard from Pauline?
No. No, she hasn't been here, Johnny, and she hasn't phoned either.
Oh, thanks. I'm taking a bit of a beating up here. It was really rather funny.
Johnny, I'm awfully sorry, but I've got one or two people in here, and it's rather difficult for me to talk.
Oh, I'm sorry. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Well, she did leave an address, but just for letters. She said I wasn't to pass it on, Mr. Byrne.
Well, look, I'm a member of Parliament, as you may know, and I can't waste time. Miss West's been doing some work for me. It's most imperative that I get in touch with her today.
Well, I don't know.
I said I was a member of Parliament. I have a most important debate today. I need certain papers. And it's most inconsiderate of her to let me down like this.
Well, of course, in that case, I'll go and find the address.
My name's Byrne. I'm a friend of Miss West's from London.
I'm a father. Come in, man. You're
Drenched. I must apologize for bursting in like this.
Explanations later. First things first. What you need is a hot bath and a change.
You're very kind.
Pauline's out for a walk. She'll probably come back as soaked as you.
Thanks.
Here we are.
Oh, you were right, Daddy. It did rain.
Hello?
A surprise for you, Pauline. All right, Byrne?
Yes, fine.
Not a bad fit. Mr. Byrne arrived soaked, darling.
Sorry to burst in on you like this, Pauline, but I was staying at Hernley overnight for a meeting and went for a walk on the moors, got caught and ran here for shelter.
What a coincidence.
Well, I remember that you said you lived at Shotley. I asked at the post office.
We'll give him a drink now, shall we, darling?
Well, if you'll just excuse me, I'll go and see Sarah about supper.
Have a chair. I prescribe whiskey.
Oh, thank you. Just a small one.
Do you know my young daughter well?
Not well. We met at the London School of Economics.
She's a funny girl. I don't suppose in that case you have any idea why she suddenly dashed home.
No.
Some boy trouble, I suppose. At that age, they're so intense. You know, sometimes I wish she wasn't so good looking. You've noticed she is, I suppose.
Yes, I've noticed.
You know, it's a handicap for them. When they're still young, older men take them out. They're flattered. The older men can give them more, well, you know, status, that sort of thing. They never get to know boys of their own age. When they do, it's too late. They're unhappy.
I'm sure your daughter can look after herself. And you've warned her.
I have. But I don't suppose she'll listen. Well, good luck.
Cheers.
Yes, I've often thought that your job was rather like mine. Like a doctor's. We both look after people's minds and bodies.
Perhaps. And perhaps you've no more idea of a cure than we have.
We grope around in the dark. Our best medicine is compassion. Of course, some of us get over-ambitious. I expect some of you do, too.
Some.
We all get hardened in time, but I don't know. If you dig deep enough, most of us are all right underneath. Same with your lot, I suppose.
Yes, but surely...
Most politicians are ambitious. I don't suppose there's a man in Parliament who hasn't got somewhere by treading on somebody's neck at some time or other.
Ambition's all right. I only question the motive.
Yes, but aren't most people's motives pretty mixed?
When you've been around a bit longer, you won't make sweeping statements like that. Well, I better go. Can I get a car to Burnley?
We wouldn't hear of it. Still pouring. You're staying here the night, isn't he, darling?
Yes, yes, of course. Johnny?
Oh, my darling.
Why did you follow me?
I didn't. I just drifted. I let things happen, and this is how they happen.
I could have stopped them.
Pauline, I suddenly found myself all alone in the world. You wouldn't understand. Alone. I had to cling to you, and that's why I'm here.
You must go.
Do you want me to? Do you want me to?
Johnny, you're torturing me. Yes, I do. I love you. Oh, in so many different ways. I found that out since I left you for certain. But then you see, it wouldn't work. I was right. You and Daddy proved it tonight. It's another world. Treated me like a child. Snubbed me.
Oh, I did it on purpose so that he wouldn't guess.
Yes, I know. But you do it again, not on purpose when you were used to me. Treat me like a daughter, everywhere except in bed.
No.
I couldn't bear it. In spite of what I feel about you now. If you want me very badly, you can have me. No one will hear. You can have me.
Oh, my God. You're right. I won't pester you anymore. You go away and marry some lusty young man and have children. I mean that. Now go away, please.
Two bob got, please. Here, Gov. Didn't you have a briefcase?
State secrets. The government would fall if anybody found this. Thank you. Good night.
Good night, Gov.
Hello, Mary. Can I come in?
What do you want, Johnny?
I just want to say good night, that's all.
You're drunk, aren't you?
No. I'm relaxed. No more worries. No more anything. I'm just relaxed.
You'd better go to bed.
Yes, let's go to bed.
Go downstairs, Johnny.
Don't be friendly. You were friendly enough the other night.
Please, go downstairs.
You're teasing. I want to kiss you, Mary.
Just think of whiskey. Why don't you go and kiss Pauline?
Mary's jealous. You see. What did you want to do that for? Pauline's gone. I'm lonely.
I think you ought to know, Johnny. I'm going to get married.
Who to?
Someone I met in the office. I've known him for some time now.
Nobody wants me. There's nobody anywhere. I just wanted to be with someone.
It's too late, Johnny.
Hello, Johnny.
Well?
Can I come in? Mary?
No. What do you want, Alice?
I want to talk to you.
What have you done to yourself?
Nothing. Well, I've had my hair done. Bought a few things. Do you like it?
It's fine. I don't feel like talking, Alice.
Please, Johnny, I'd like to.
All right, you make a cup of coffee. I'll freshen up. So you think we can make a go of it this time? Why?
Somehow I just hoped I could slip back and the explanations would come later. Childish of me. Yes, I think we could.
Because you're not a comrade anymore?
Oh, I joined them because they seemed to offer something. Something to hold on to while we were drifting apart.
We never had very far to drift in the first place, did we?
Perhaps not. I tried. I really did try in the beginning. Perhaps in the wrong direction, but I didn't like your politics, you see. Anyway, I've been thinking things over. I've changed my views about the party. I'm disillusioned, if you like.
God, I look awful.
No, a bit tired, that's all. Aren't you feeling disillusioned too, Johnny?
Perhaps.
You see, I thought you might be seeing things differently as well. Not getting into the government, I hoped. I just hoped it might have changed you. Has it?
I just want to be a success.
Who doesn't? Why should it be wrong in me and right in everybody else?
It's just the way you went for it. You were so cold-blooded about it.
In other words, you're saying everything I've done has been phony.
No, not everything. You've got a lot of qualities.
But all the wrong ones.
No?
I can't change. I'm 42.
I'm 41. I think I can. Still, if you don't want to, I think I better go.
No, don't go. I'm not saying you're not right in most respects, but you say I'm cold-blooded. I'm not. But you wouldn't know that.
I know I'm not much good in bed. Sorry.
Well, perhaps if we'd had children, it might have helped.
Yes. It was my fault. We've missed a lot, Johnny. We never tried to find it together. Could we now? Slowly and friendly.
I don't know.
I suppose we can't decide things now. Look, here's my telephone number. You ring me if you want me back. I'll wait till this evening and... well, after that I'll have to think again. I must know soon. I can't say I love you, Johnny. Although I don't suppose you love me, so there it is. Apart from each other, we haven't got much in this world, have we? We could have more. Together.
Alice. Hello, yes?
Johnny?
Yes?
Oh, it's Mary. Hello. I just wanted to see if you were all right.
I'm fine. Alice has just been here.
Alice?
Yes, we're getting together again.
I'm glad, Johnny.
Hello, Johnny. Haven't seen you around the last day or two.
No, I went up to my constituency.
Ah. Changed your mind about asking that question, then, eh?
Yes.
Maybe I was wrong about you. Are you learning, Johnny?
Maybe I am.
I said some pretty rough things to you. I'm sorry.
Forget it, Fred.
How's the missus?
Alice, she's fine.
That's grand. I remember her when she was just a kid. She was a good lass. A bit prickly, maybe, but a good lass.
Aye.
I'm glad she's all right.
May I join you? It's a bit full.
Yes, come and sit down, lad. Are you finding your way about by now?
Oh, yes, thanks. Lavatories and all. There's a line in the paper about Mazrin. Seems to have quietened down. You had something to do with that, didn't you?
He did. I just had a chat with the Prime Minister, that's all.
Power behind the throne, eh?
No, just a backbencher and always will be.
Oh, no bad thing to be either. I've seen the big lads come and go. It's usually the same. 1 minute you got the papers hanging on your lips, then bang, you come down overnight. In the morning you're looking for a chair here at the table to rest your backside. Right, Johnny?
Dead right. From the backbenches, you can watch the ulcers sprout and the arteries hardening and then get home earlier to supper with your wife. It's comfortable to be out of the race. You'll find out. Sooner or later.
Get him to see the Prime Minister in his room in 10 minutes.
What's he want?
He'll no doubt tell you. Can I say he'll be there?
Yes. Probably about Mazran.
I'm going to telephone Alice.
President of the Board of Trade's with him now. Byrne's coming along.
I'll be in the chamber.
Right. Won't keep a moment. Sit down.
Goodbye.
Come in, Johnny. Sit down. He's going to die. He told me yesterday his doctor has given him 6 months. Cancer. Oh, God, what a bloody business. He's going to walk out of this place and never come back. He's going home to his garden in the north. Oh, blast it, he's going to plant flowers for the spring and he'll never see them grow. About 4 times in a lifetime, Byrne, one meets a good man. And he was one. He was just good. I never heard him say a malicious word about anyone. A really good man in politics stands out like a mountain peak. It's not that there are fewer good men here than elsewhere, but the good man stands out here. I suppose it's because we're measured in our private attitude by our public utterances. We preach a high morality, but we're ordinary blokes after all. There have to be some changes. I want to offer you a job. I've moved the Postmaster General to the Board of Trade. The Assistant Postmaster General will take over the department, and I want you to take over as assistant. You'll find it a useful experience. There won't be much chance in big debates in the House, but you'll get a good show at question time, and you'll get valuable administrative experience.
I'll do anything you say, Prime Minister.
Good, that's settled then. The Mazran business is settled, you know. We made the Sheikh stand down.
I knew you'd find a solution, sir.
The best of luck, then. Oh, by the way, there was just one little thing. I expect you wondered why I didn't find a place for you when I first formed a government.
I had no reason to expect anything, sir.
You've done quite well on the backbenches, though. But there was one reason why I had to leave you out. It's difficult to explain, but you ought to know. Your wife was a background member of the Communist Party. Quite an important person, I suppose you knew.
Well, she didn't tell me very much, but I knew, or rather, I guessed.
We couldn't take the risk of having a minister whose wife was an active Communist Party member. I regretted it, but there was no alternative. We were, of course, absolutely confident in you, but we couldn't take the risk. We're now told that your wife has left you, or that you've left your wife. I don't want to know the details. All this is your own private business. I find it embarrassing even to discuss it.
I understand, sir.
Anyway, what danger there was is ended now, so I'm happy to have been able to place you.
Thank you, sir.
Good day.
I've got a message for you. The Postmaster General would like to see you. You'll find him in the chamber.
Thank you.
Something else I wanted to say to you. If I remember, I was rather offensive the other day. I just wanted to say I see no reason to retract a single word I said to you. It's not that I dislike you. I just dislike your type. Good afternoon.
In my constituency in the West Country, there are people who have been waiting for as long as 8 years to have the telephone service brought to them. I realize that there are various economic problems connected with this whole subject. But I would ask the Postmaster General to consider seriously whether in conditions of increasing trade competition...
Glad to have you, Johnny. I want to have a talk with you, but I better listen to this fellow
There are
first.
several new light industries
We'll have a drink when he sits down.
which rely on the quick and efficient transmission of orders to carry on their business. Their operations are being severely hampered by what they consider to be a lack of cooperation and understanding by a specific government department. There is one factory I have in mind which makes small parts for the motor companies. Luxury gadgets, I agree, but nevertheless the kind of things that help to sell our cars overseas. This factory is expanding rapidly, and yet it can still have only one switchboard with 4 outside lines because the main cable to that district is inadequate